Welcome back to the channel. I'm MoedotJ and we are locked in. This is episode 13 of Ozarks. And man, what did we see in episode 12? Ruth is trying to get her record clean, get everything expunged so she can go ahead, take over all the property that Darlene and Wyatt had, and also get her rightfully owned piece of the Missouri Belle, the riverboat, so she can have control of it. Also, she brought back Rachel to assist her with this. Now, before we jump into this episode, shout out to the notification gang. If you're new to the channel and be a part of it, hit the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. Hit that like button, it's the easiest thing you can do. Also, we've seen that Grandpa, he's trying to take the kids away from our girl Wendy because he doesn't feel that the kids are safe here with them. So he wants to take them back to Carolina and start fresh. So let's jump into it. This is episode 13 of the Ozarks. The 4 signs we have this episode: catching a big fish, the clerical collar, the Asclepius rod, and raindrops. The first thing we see is our girl Wendy. Now, we know that she was just crying to tell Grandpa she wanted to keep the kids, and he was like, get up, you're embarrassing yourself. Now, what does she do? She drives to the same facility that Ben was checked into, and what she wants to do is check herself in. Now, the only problem is, it's normally a waiting list for this, and she's like, look, how much do I gotta pay to bypass all this? I want to talk to a doctor. Now, the guy that comes up here and helps her, he's like, okay, what are some of your symptoms? And he's running through things. She pulls out $40 like, man, if you don't just, ooh. She's trying to check herself in because right now, this is her last resort to potentially keep her kids. Wendy has her own plan, and we know that she's always doing her own thing. But back at the riverboat, we see Marty showing up, and there's people moving boxes up out of his office. He's like, what's going on here? What paperwork are you guys talking about? Because they're moving everything from the office, but Marty doesn't know what's going on. Well, it turns out Ruth is in here, and since she has Darlene's shares of the Missouri Belle, and she also has old buddy who sold her his shares, she now owns the most of the riverboat. So now she's in the office, and she told Marty everything is moved upstairs. Now Rachel, she's in there, you know, she's basically the assistant to our girl Ruth right now. But the thing is, Marty still needs the boat to launder money. We already heard Navarro say we need to launder more. But Ruth is like, nope, you need to do it somewhere else. We doing nothing but clean stuff here. My record is expunged. I'm starting fresh, turning a new leaf. So Marty, he's upset. Now, you know, Marty has to go back and forth to go speak with Navarro. Now, when he gets there, he's saying he's been a little bit, tied up because his father-in-law, Grandpa, wants to take the kids. Now, they're like, sorry for that. But Omar's not trying to hear any of that. He's telling Marty, you need to have all the books and more money laundered. So when I get out off this SDN list, there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on me. So it needs to be perfect, Marty. Now, if you're too distracted to do this, you need to let me know. But of course, Marty can't say I'm distracted because his primary job is to get Navarro up out of here. Now, we do have some good news. Now, you know, Jim, he's been out here trying to find out and get different people to come and invest because Schaefer is trying to back off unless Wendy and Marty go ahead and hold their word on bringing in the voting booths. Now, Jim says, I got some investors. Hey, they gonna come. We just got to make sure we got it right. So Wendy is super excited because this is her plan to backdoor Schaefer. This is the first sign, catching the big fish. You seen that there was a fish with a hook? Well, with Jim calling and telling her that we got a lot of big investors coming, yeah, this is very, very good news for them. Wendy couldn't check into the hospital. So what does she do? She goes to Buddy's grave. That's where they hid all their money. She gets $2 million cash and she brings it back to basically try to bribe her dad, take the $2 million, go back to Carolina, just start fresh. But of course, he's not trying to hear any of this. He wants to get his grandkids up out of here. So whatever you got going on, Wendy, you're just disgraceful. And he's like, Wendy, get out of my face. I'm not taking that $2 million. I'm taking my grandkids. But Wendy does see this box over here. She knows that there's some drink in there. Now they get to talking about Grandpa's wife and how he cheated on her and how he was doing all kinds of things behind her back. And she knew about it. And he talking about, I never cheated on her. And Wendy's like, come on, Dad. We know the truth here. Come on now. Now, you know, these two, they ain't never seen eye to eye from the beginning of time. We've never known these two to like each other. And also, last episode, we found out, well, it may have been the episode before, but we found out that he actually put his hands on Wendy. Marty's trying to move money through the casino. Ruth is telling them go do it through Lickety Splits, Blue Cat, do it somewhere else. Now, when Wendy hears this information, we know that she doesn't like anybody on this show. She never agrees with anybody or does what anyone else wants done. So she's saying, ooh, we got to find out a way because we got to put that money through the casino. Marty's like, we'll find something. We got a fundraiser coming. We got investors. We need to do this. Now, we know that Wendy is primarily focused on the political side, saying when we go to Chicago, we're going to employ a lot of people, help out women, help out a lot of people. We got to get our kids to come back because everything is based on image. So if your kids aren't with you, they went back with your grandfather, people are going to look at that and say, what, you can't take care of your kids and run all of this? And Marty hears her say, you're going to do what? Because he knows when Wendy speaks, she's about to do something outrageous. Marty is trying to convince the kids to stay with them here in the Ozarks. But the kids want to know what happens after all this is done and we move back to Chicago. Are you going to stay with mom? And you already know that Jonah's always on his dad saying, you do whatever mom tells you to do. So Marty's trying to explain to them that now we need to be together. That's what's most important, family. And Jonah's like, is that what mama told you to tell us? Because they want to be there for their family. But you can really tell that they don't want to deal with Wendy. No one does. The kids are getting ready to leave. Marty talking to him didn't work. So when they walk outside, Marty's asking Wendy, you gonna come out, at least see the kids goodbye? But she has a lot on her mind, and this is what she really wants. She wants to keep her family together. One of this is in spite of her father, but also, it is a mother, and this is still her kids. She wants them to be here with her. But realistically, let's be honest. The kids being here with the cartel doing all this nonsense, especially trying to get Navarro off the list, this isn't a good look. After the kids leave, we see the Byrdes. They're looking at the Missouri Belle security footage. Now, you got to remember, they still own it. They just aren't the majority owner. So at this point, Ruth really makes all the decisions. And we see that she's running this place with an iron fist. Kick this person out. You hear Marty say, she's not going to let us have it. Because he knows they need this to launder money. Wendy is upset. At least Marty is trying to come up with a plan. Wendy, she just, I hate Ruth. Wendy and Rachel got into it earlier in the day when they were setting up for the fundraiser for the Byrde Foundation. Now, Rachel is saying, look, I came back. I'm running this building. I'm doing everything that Ruth needs me to do. If you got something to say, Wendy, then say it. And Wendy was, trying to downplay it like, you were running a failing business. She said, well, now I'm back and I'm making it happen. So what did Wendy do? She sent Navarro's head of security to put a gun to Rachel's head and tell her, you need to let my clients, my associates, launder money through the casino. Now, we know that she is the assistant that's helping Ruth out. You put a little bit of fear in somebody's heart, they'll change up quick. Or will they? The next day, Rachel ain't backing down. She goes straight to Marty. Oh, you sent a hitter after me? You sent somebody to intimidate me? Marty's like, what are you talking about? First of all, keep your voice down. He said, I didn't send anybody. I wouldn't do nothing like that. Oh, so it was Wendy. And Marty, in the back of his head, like, what the fuck is she doing? Every time you look up, Marty has to try and fix something that Wendy did. But now Rachel is irate, and she's not letting this slide. Rachel went straight to Ruth and told her about it. And of course, Ruth is coming to confront Marty about it. Hey, Rachel told me what you did. He said, look, I didn't have anything to do with it. I'm going to talk to Wendy about it right now. And Ruth is like, you're not laundering any money through here, and stop trying to intimidate my workers. Get the hell off the property, Marty. This is a legit business now. So Marty got to deal with his wife. He got to deal with Ruth. He got to deal with the cartel. Man, we just trying to make it through here. We want to keep the Byrde family alive. Now Ruth is playing hardball. What did she do? She cut off all access. So any of the money, it doesn't go to a foreign bank. All the money that the Missouri Belle makes or sends out, it goes to a U.S. bank. Which this is going to be bad if the Navarro cartel finds out that the money is being stopped. Now, we got Wendy in here with her legs crossed playing with Jonah's old toys. Wendy, you need to get your shit together. You sent Nelson after Rachel. You're messing up everything for the family. Ruth goes back to the Lazy O and she's trying to talk to Grandpa. Now he's outside like, hey, trying to throw some stuff away. Now she gets to cursing a little bit. And he's like, hey, watch your mouth. But he also brings up Ben and he says, Ben never really liked blonde. So why was he talking to you? He was more of a brunette guy. And Ruth is just looking around like, what does that have to do with anything? But she eventually storms off because at this point, she's not getting anywhere with Grandpa. She just wanted to talk to him a little bit, but he was being defensive. Camilla shows up to the house. And right now, we got to figure out how we're going to run this. Because Wendy wants Marty to go back and run the cartel. Marty doesn't want to do that. So the plan is, Camilla, you'll run the cartel. You go ahead and knock your brother off. Your brother is the one that put the hit on Javi anyway. So she's like, okay. She said, what do you guys get out of it? But in return, everyone's going to be protected through the FBI. Camilla, you'll run the cartel and they'll think that you're getting orders from Navarro. This is so everybody down there in Mexico will still trust you. And then the Byrdes, they'll be able to run everything they got here. And it's a win-win for everybody. Camilla, you just got to get rid of Navarro. Camilla and the Byrdes, they have a plan that they can both win out of this situation. Now, she goes to visit her brother and she starts reminiscing about when they were younger and things, but she also asks about Javi. And what does Omar say? He says, I didn't call that hit on Javi. I wouldn't do nothing like that. So now this has her thinking, what's exactly going on? Because Wendy is the one that said, you did that. So right now they're trying to figure out who did what. We kind of think that Camilla was the one that sent the hit on Omar. And we also think, and they also think that Omar did the hit on Javi, when in real life, we know it was Ruth. Now she gets on the phone and she calls Marty. So what about this hit on my son? Who did it? And Marty's trying to play it off like, I don't know. I know Omar, he ordered it. She's like, nah, I just talked to Omar. He said he didn't do it. So Marty's like, I don't know who did it. Camilla ain't playing around. She's getting in that power position. And you guys just said y'all were going to work with me. So y'all better come clean. We know that Ruth is getting the whole mansion, log cabin built. We about to get a swimming pool and everything. Now her and Rachel, they're getting closer and closer. Of course, in the beginning, they didn't really see eye to eye because the Langmores were bad people. But now they're working together. And Rachel's like, you deserve everything here. And for Ruth, she doesn't have any family. It's just her and 3. So she's like, you can stay here. You can get in a spare house that I'm building. Whatever you want to do, you can stay here. The next sign is the clerical collar that the priest is wearing. Now he's coming to talk to Wendy because he had an uncomfortable conversation with Omar. But you know that there's some messages the priest just not going to carry. So he's saying you need to come in here to talk to him. So he's coming to get Wendy to go back to the prison so they can talk to Omar because something ain't adding up. The next sign is the Asclepius. Now this is for the medical center that behavioral health that Ben was at. Wendy, she goes back up here and this time she needs to be checked in. You remember he was asking for those symptoms? What did she say this time? I'm going to hurt you if you don't let me in. So whenever someone says they're going to hurt themselves or hurt someone else, that always has to be reported. So this is how she self-checks in this time and bypasses all the paperwork. Of course, Marty shows up to talk to her and he's like, do you need anything? What are you doing in here? She's like, well, I just got to be here because she has her own plan. She thinks if I check myself in, the kids will feel sorry for me and they'll want to stay here. Marty's just like, oh my gosh. Do you not know I just got a phone call from Camilla talking about Omar said he didn't do the hit? I got a lot to deal with. And then for your old ass to check yourself in here, this is just childish. They giving us back-to-back signs. Here go another sign, the raindrops. Well, right now, Nelson has been following Ruth around because why? We got to see what Ruth's doing. We got to put some fear in her heart so we can go ahead and use the casino to launder money. But Ruth sees this. She hops out, gives him 2 birds, and then she runs off. What she does is she goes into the sheriff's office. She's talking to the acting sheriff and she tells him everything. She killed Javi. There's a guy Nelson chasing after. Everything is haywire right now. And the only thing is, you can't tell anybody I'm giving you this information. Now, the acting sheriff is hearing this like, man, what the hell? But you remember, he was acting nice to Ruth for the simple fact that she has money and power within the Ozarks. So he's listening to this. He's like, okay. But in the back of his mind, he's thinking, how am I going to be able to tell somebody this and make it believable? She's explaining how she killed Javi. Javi killed Darlene. Javi killed Wyatt. Even the acting sheriff was just like, so you got all this money and power and you came in and told me a story of something that would be on Netflix? Yeah, because this is straight out of Netflix. But he's just so confused, because if someone came and told you all this, what would you do? Ruth knows she's being followed. And when she went into the police station, that was pretty much a certified death. So what does she do? She calls Rachel and says, Nelson is on his way back. The guy that put the gun in your head earlier, he's on the way back. Get the shotgun, get the rifle, get something, and get up out the house. Now it is pouring down, raining outside. And she's like, I don't have any shoes. Ruth said, who cares? Get outside. Rachel gets outside. She gets on the roof of the of the trailer. Nelson gets out. He don't even stand a chance. I'm talking about pow. Laid him down. Pow. Finished them off. Nelson didn't even get a chance to pull that thing out. Now they standing over the body. Ruth is looking like, damn. You can tell Rachel was not prepared for this, but killing somebody to protect yourself and save yourself, that's a totally different thing than committing a murder. This right here was a righteous kill. There you go, episode 13 of Ozark season 4. Let me know what you would have done in that situation. If you were Rachel, would you have ran into the woods, or would you have stayed there and tried to hold it down and knock Nelson off yourself? Let me know what you think. I'm MoedotJ. If you like the content on the channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. I'm out.
Jimmy on the beat, boy.